Hello, everybody. Welcome to Week 6 recap of the week. And, well, let's just say mine wasn't too good of a one, as I now had the lowest score of the week. And I was projected at over 100, which is stupid. But anyway, we'll look quick at the scores. I'm not going to talk too much this time. A lot of work to do this week, so we get through this and move on to Week 7 here. But Chuck ended up beating me by a big margin, 104-66. Colby ended up beating Maria's 103-72. Brandon won his third in a row, beating Zach Flippin 100-76. There was not a lot of 100 scores this weekend. I did notice that. So it was almost like the first week. The first week was the lowest amount of hundreds. This was right there with it, I think. Matt Fisher beat my dad 95-81. Pat, two or 3 weeks in a row, man, it's been scoring like 140 plus. It's crazy. I think he's officially got the highest points scored, even though Bill is undefeated. He's 4-2. He's got the highest points scored, I think. Yet he had that week of 60 points. He ended up beating Caitlin 145-98. Gary get his first win of the season against Dylan, 128-90. Matt beat Andrew 110-80. And then the last one, Bill stays undefeated at 6-0, beating Mason after Mason come off of a big win last week, I think, if I remember right. 125-93 for Bill there. And you saw the top scorers right over here. Tyreek Hill is always up there on his team. So yeah, that's your top scorers. I'm facing Brandon this coming week, so we'll see what we can do. All right. So here we go. Box scores for week 6. And here we look. Beforehand, I thought I was projected to win. I was at one point. He must have changed it before the week started. But I thought I was projected to win. But either way, I was projected 104, scoring 100, like what I've been averaging all year. But only got 66 this time. Tyler Bass got 0 for kicking. Okay, he kicked 2 extra points, but he also missed a field goal or 2, so he lost points for them to get it back to 0. So that's the story on that. Got nothing with him. 1.1 for Kittle after scoring 20-something the week I had him on the bench 2 weeks ago. I put him in this time and he scores 1.1. Laporta 7.6, Hopkins 3.0. Come on, guys. Like, give me a break. Thank you, A.J. Brown, as you were the only one that scored over 20. Oh, this is pathetic. I picked up Gardner Minshew a week before this weekend and thought it was a good pick. Still was, because Tannehill only got 1.04. So either way, quarterback still scored more than what my bench quarterback did, but I don't know. Daniel Jones was on a bye, so it beat him too. So either way, it was still a good move for that week at least. And then over here, Gano with 10 points. Even though they lost to the kicker over here. They literally lost to Tyler Bass. He got 10 points for field goals, though, because he kicked 3 field goals. That's all the Giants got, was 3 field goals. So he gets all the points. Meanwhile, I don't get shit. Over here, and the Eagles' defense scored the same as mine. All right, we're okay down here. Then here it gets terrible, okay? Besides James Cook and Zach Charbonnet, his team popped off here. 17 from Mahomes. CeeDee Lamb with highest score. They were pretty much all over their projected for the most part. Mahomes was actually under. But he got my projected score, and I got way lower than anybody's predicted score. My bench only scored 21, so really, my bench didn't even score double digits either. So, yeah, you know. Over here, I mean, he had the right people in because everybody down here, besides even Stafford, had less than the quarterback that he had in. So, he had the right people in this time. And it worked out for him as he wins his third. I think did he win 3 in a row? I can't remember. I feel like he lost the first 3, but I could be wrong. I don't know. All right, next one. Colby with that lineup ends up beating Maria, and Maria had Jared Goff with 22 on the bench, and Fields only got 4.92. That hurts right there. That's almost 18 more. That would have brought her up to 90. And I think that's pretty much. And then this would have been 8 more. That would have been 98. That's pretty much all she could have done, though, honestly. Yeah. Maybe having T. Higgins in for the running back in the flex, but only been 1.5 more. She would have barely got 100 if she had those bench players in. So she still would have barely lost, but look at his bench scores are ridiculous too. Like, I don't know. I don't know if anybody hit the projected. I know Chuck was projected 110. I don't think anybody hit the projected besides Pat, probably, because he was way over. Nobody has hit their projected yet. I'm looking through the 4 teams that I did. But that's the scores there, not, the normal Stephon Diggs and, yeah, Derrick Henry with 19.3. We still lost, so this is not looking good. 2-4 season, just like my fantasy team. So that's not good luck at all. Moving on to Brandon. Gets his 3rd win. He lost the first 3 and then won 3 in a row. So he's 3-3 that way. Brandon had Derek Carr in. Scored pretty good. Let's see. He had Chiefs defense at 16 points on Thursday night. That's pretty good against Denver. I don't know. It's not much notables here. More than what you see in front of you. He didn't reach the projected. He didn't reach the projected. So he reached 100 though. I would still take that any day of the week. Must be nice. Look at, he had 72 on the bench though. He almost had more bench points than points that were in. Jeez, God, they're all almost double digits. Drake London, 21.5. That's tough. And you think everybody almost puts the projected scores, the higher projecteds, in the lineup, which means all these scores down here were not projected, nowhere near that. You know what? I take that back. There's a running back at 9.8. He's at one at 10.4 here. Well, maybe he just thought they would have a better day anyway, because it was against Jacksonville, and I don't know. But anyway, that's how that went. Moving on to my dad and Matt Fisher. Not much really notables here either. Quentin Johnson didn't score anything for my dad there, and he had a couple 2s and a 2.7. But other than that, he had 2 good ones at the top with Breece Hall and Dak Prescott. Were higher scoring than anybody on Matt's team. Just unfortunately had too many low scores to go with it, and couldn't quite win it. But again, nobody hit projected scores. So That's how that one looks. And then over here with Caitlin and Pat. Now, Pat is the only one looks like that's hit. At least up to now, he's the only one that's hit the projected or higher. Now, Pat scored 34 with Mostert and 28 with Adam Thielen. 23. I forgot how to pronounce his name. Utine. And on the other side, Keenan Allen. I mean, some decent scores. 98 is not a horrible score on most given weeks, but it is when you go up against, a team like this. Travis Kelce with 21 points for him as well. Just domination over here. Both benches scored more than they projected. And we'll go on to the next one. It's Gary's first win. Tua with 22 points. Let's see. Is Cooper Kupp with 27. There are a couple big ones that are known right there. On the other side, Dylan had Damian Harris in, who scored .1. That did not help right there. And then a couple 5s and 6s and a 3. So not much over there. If it wasn't for Tyreek Hill and Jalen Hurts making that score look a lot better than it was. And then down in here, he had projected. Gary hit over his projected score, so let's see. Jacoby Myers had 17.1 on the bench, and then 10 on the bench down here. And then he had 14 over here with the kicker. It's a lot for a kicker, especially the Jets. So that's a pretty good score down there. Just unfortunately had him on the bench, but that's the way the score ended up being. Gary getting his first win of the season after almost winning his first game of the season, as well as knocking Bill off for the first time last season, but did not happen last week. But did not happen, and they were still 6-0 or 5-0 and 0-5 coming into this week. But Gary got his first win, but Bill is still undefeated at 6-0. The only one left undefeated. There's no more winless teams left. However, my team might as well be. And over here we got not really big. Well, St. Brown got 30.4 on the Andrews team, yet he only scored 80 points total. Didn't reach his projected. Barely got his projected over on the other side. So he got the projected, but it was like right at it, basically. 1 point difference. And there's what the bench looks like. And when you lose and you see a bench look like this with the scores that low, then you're like, all right, well, I mean, there's not much I could have done. But when you see somebody, like I missed out on George Kittle's big day and had 22 points on the bench, that hurts a lot. Now the final one, here we go. This is the team of the season right now, dominating everybody that comes in its path. 19 points for Justin Herbert, and 13.6, 17.4 for Kamara, 10 for Josh Palmer, Cortland Sutton with 14.6, Ravens defense with 13, Justin Tucker with 19. Went against Mason, who really only thing that shined was the Vikings defense had 22, even though they gave up 14 points. So there must have been a couple good hits or something in that to knock people out. I don't know. Let's see. Not much else to talk about here, but that was the last one to go through here. And Bill lost Justin Jefferson for a few weeks here. The highest pick number 1 in the draft. He is out for a few weeks, so he's got him in the IR and was able to pick up a couple other people. And yeah, that's the highlight of the box scores. We head over to league standings, and there you have it. He's got a 98% chance of making the playoffs. Yep. Pretty good when you have that higher percentages early in the season. Actually, wow, come to think of it, we're almost halfway through the season already. Because it's 14 weeks for the fantasy. Because 15, 16, 17 are the playoffs. So technically, yeah, we're getting close. We're already almost halfway through the season, and I'm way back. Jesus. We'll see what happens in the week to come here, but facing Brandon for the first time this year and see how it goes. But Team Bill sitting at top, 2 games. The last 4-1 team, the last 1-loss team was Dylan, and he got beat by Gary. So no team has lost once. Bill has a 2-game gap by himself over the rest of the entire 15 teams in the league. 6 games in. How does that feel? That's got to feel pretty good. That's insane. So really, I'm only 2 games back a second. Not really, because I got way less points. But and there'll be a lot of ties for records. So it's going to come down to the points, and I got a lot of work to do with points for some of those people at the top, like Kobe and Pat. But Pat's definitely got the most points of the 4-2 teams. He's ahead of Kobe, and Dylan is behind them. So the top 8 make the playoffs starting week 15 in the league. And we're almost halfway through. Once we complete week 7 next week, that will be the halfway point of the season. With 7 down, 7 to go. Hopefully, I can at least be 3-4, so I have a chance. If I fall to 2-5, we're in big trouble. I already have a team name lined up if we lose another week in a row here. I thought I lost 2 in a row. I actually lost 3, so this could be 4 weeks in a row that I might lose here. So I'm facing Brandon, who's been on a hot streak lately, winning 3 in a row. So we'll see what happens. But if we don't win this week, I am changing my team name a little bit to something that's more deserving of a team name. And you will see it firsthand next week when we do this show. If we end up losing another week. So we'll see what happens. But until then, we'll see you next week. This is week 6 recap. Signing out. Oh, wait. One quick thing I forgot. I completely forgot about that part. Yes, the quick recap of when I put it in here. Did I go through them all? Okay, so, and then the detailed results. This is also, again, a quick recap of what you just saw, but this is the mobile version, screenshots, that I post in the Discord channel of the Fantasy Football. And then the scores in order. Okay, there was actually half hundreds and half were not. That's more than I thought there was, but there were a lot lower hundreds, and I don't know. I thought there was more that were, in the 90s and below. I did not think there was that many 100 scores, but I guess it was half of the league had 100. The other half did not break 100. So, and there I am at the bottom. Me and Maria down in the last two spots with our amazing football teams here in the Fantasy Football League. Now, thanks for watching. We'll see you later. We're signing off, and see you in Week 7 recap next week.